A Toby person. A Toby person. Toby, you're so sweet. What did you kill? What did you kill, huh? Why are you so sweet? Why are you so sweet? Your breath stinks. Oh, what are you doing? You need to calm down with your soft fur and stuff. So sweet. Okay. So, you person watching this, alright, you, the person watching this, you want to know how to change the valve cover gasket on your 2000 Honda Accord. This could go across any of the cars that come with this same exact engine right here. However, this one specifically right here is a 2000 Honda Accord. You're gonna need some paper towels, and one of your first steps you're gonna want to do is you're gonna want to come in here and you're gonna want to wipe away all this residue, because you don't want any of this getting in the engine. Correct? Correct. So, and if you take a look here, most of these are longer, shorter. You can't mix them up. So gently give these things a little wiggle, just a little, as you pull upwards, and that should help as to not break it when you pull it out. Now, one thing that you might be able to tell if you have a very bad valve cover gasket is there's little seals in each of these tubes here that separate this spark plug tube from the valve cover, and if it starts going bad, you'll end up filling these spark plug holes with oil, and then all of a sudden your stuff ain't gonna do right. It'll end up sparking through the oil and into your valve cover, and instead of inside the engine. Alright, so some tools you're going to want: small set of pliers, 10mm wrench, maybe even a Dr. Pepper. You're going to want to take your little pliers, drop your wrench down in the engine bay so you never find it again. We're going to use these pliers to move this clip back to its original position, just that one, because I'm not gonna take it off there. I'm gonna take it off over here. That moves right out of the way, just like that. Socket and this wrench right here. You can look in here. Crack these free now. All right, so once you've removed those 5 bolts, the whole valve cover should just come right off of there. Beautiful. And now we can see the back of it here. You can see extra where it's been leaking oil and stuff. And just clean that all off. Well, actually, while we're in here, set this right here for now. Heard it. So while we're in here, we'll take a look at the valve train, and we can see if any of these are crazy loose or not. And these are actually very easily adjustable, very much like this motor, which nothing feels crazy. There's a little bit of sludge in the top of the motor. This sludge actually easily cleans up, so probably come through here and clean off some of the sludge in here with the wipe and keep that from going anywhere in the motor, because this will actually prolong the life of this motor. We don't want any of this sludge and to come free with oil changes and break free everywhere, when we could just clean it up just like this and it'll be fine. So for these little bolts here, there's a trick. So usually when the gasket gets pretty old like these do, the top washer will just pop right off of it and you can separate it like that. I like to take something like these pliers right here, and what you can do is you can grab it and you can bend outwards like such. You'll actually see it stretches like that. Then you can go until it tears. You don't have to go necessarily until it tears, I guess, but and remember, if you back it out some, you're gonna get more leverage. But there it goes, right there, just like that, and busted it free right off of there. And you can see inside of it how it's cracking and tearing. And if you're in here replacing these gaskets, then yes, that should be old enough to crack and tear right off of there. If it's fresh enough to where it just slides off without tearing, you probably shouldn't be replacing it anyhow. But and then the washer comes right off just like that. And let me show you guys how to put the new ones on. So you're gonna want to take some wheel bearing grease and then just dunk the end of the bolt right in. And you're gonna take your new gasket, and these washers do not pop right off of these. They're glued to them, so don't try to separate that. But here's a little trick to putting them in. You get something like a vise or something like this, and you can just push the bolt through like this and give it a little wiggle action as you push. And it will go right through, and then you're installed. Alright, so now that all the bolts are installed, or the washer seals, what have you, now we're off to the spark plug seals, which are relatively easy. Sometimes you can just, there it goes. A little bit of force and they just pop right out just like that. I'll try to get it a little more streamlined on the next one. Now, I don't recommend using a, hood of your car has a table to do stuff on like this, but I'm eventually going to replace this hood. One with a scoop in it from a STI model or something, because I like the little scoop. There we go. There's all those seals. So now if you guys remember, these seals go like this, just like that, because the tube slides against that. You don't want it to go against this hard edge right here, otherwise it's going to have a hard time going back in. However, you just push them in like that. And if you're not strong enough, you can use the back end of your screwdriver like that and just lightly tap around it, and you can get it in there. There's those. And then this last one, very simple, like we just take it and it sits right in this channel just like so. However, I think it goes this way. No. No, it does not go that way. It goes one way only. You can't mix it up. Just pops in there like that. I might have it. Might be wrong on that. It might actually go in like this. Yeah. Alright. It's only gonna go in one way. Can't mix it up. So boom, just like that. She's perfect. And just like that. And you want to add a little RTV here. I'll show you guys in a moment. Alright, so usually in these scenarios you would only use some Honda Bond or something of that nature, but Ultra Gray, this is Permatex Ultra Gray, will do just fine. In reality, we want to get both sides of this, albeit a little sloppy, but it's okay. Now it's fine to put this in wet. This gasket should make up all the seal. It's just a hard cornering. You never know if there's any imperfection here between this gasket and whatever's happening. The RTV will make up for it, which is why we put it in there. And what you want to do is you want to peel it up, and you want to get the inside of this as well. Make sure that it's actually going to fully seal up. Don't be afraid, get it on your finger there. You don't have to be incredibly liberal with it, but get enough on there to where it'll actually do something. And you don't have to do this in this exact order either. You could, realistically, you probably ought to put this on beforehand. However, I already put it on the top. It's just the way I did it. Did it at the top first and then went to the bottom. It's alright. Usually you wanna come from the bottom and go to the top. Just as long as it's there. That's the most important part. Let's set this down in this channel. Sweet. Now I'm going to put the cap back on my RTB here. use my coveralls to wipe my fingers into them and get some permanent RTV marks on them, so they're nice and dirty permanently, because that's what we want. I'd rather it not be on my hands. Now we can take our beautiful little valve cover here, and we're going to just slap her right on in yonder. Beautiful. Here's the part number for this kit right here, if you wanted to see it. Start all these bolts by hand. Don't use a tool. You don't want to immediately start these threads with a tool. You want to make sure that the threads go in there nice and easily, so it doesn't not cross thread and destroy your threads, because then it's going to require a little more drastic work to get her complete. And also remember that the longer bolts go in the back of it, and the shorter bolts go up front. Threads can be a little difficult to find. It's not exactly a perfect cylinder that it slides down to guide it into it, but they're in there. Clip those down in place. This wire needs to be just like that. You can hear it click when it hits the spark plug. And just like that, some beautifully rounded wires. Make sure everything's tight on the distributor. And I'm going to top this thing off with some oil. Wipe any fingerprints I just left on this off, because I know I just left a number of them on this very clean valve cover. I just cleaned up and everything. I'm using a dirty rag, but it's less dirty than a lot of things. There's a clean spot on it somewhere. Get all my fingerprints off of it so it's presentable, just like that. And that is how you replace your valve cover gasket. Thank you for watching. Gasser Works.